Hello guys and welcome back to Chris and Sam Fishing. Today it is very early, I say very early, it's currently 5 o'clock I believe. Believe it or not, people come down before I do. There's a guy already down here fishing, I can't believe it. I've come down today to do a bit of an odd bit of fishing I guess. I'm going for bream, but I'm actually going to be using carp tactics. Such as pellets and corn, etc. I actually came down with Dom the other day. I'll stick the footage in here. I was only feeding bread and corn. Sorry, not bread and corn. I was only feeding pellets and corn, and the first fish hooked on bread. The second fish I had on corn, and then I actually had a banded pellet on, and I lost a fish. So I'm hoping today that by fishing the method, that I might end up catching some big bream. There are some big fish in here, and I'm hoping that fishing these tactics I might be able to get one out. There's plenty of bubbles fizzing up from where I've been chucking bait out. I can see them fizzing up right now. So what I'm going to do is set my rig up, chuck a few more out, and I'll get fishing. I'll go through the bait and rig once I start. How much is my bream?
Just under 4.
Oh, yes, lovely.
3.8 is that?
Oh, yeah, looks like
3.14.
Oh yeah,
3.12, 3.14.
good fish for the first one, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, my first fishing of the session. Within, I'd say, about 10 minutes of fishing, and there's a bream at just under £4. Fantastic. I'll probably get a picture of this one and I'll chuck him back.
You got that back there, didn't you?
Last one, probably about £3.5 down on the mat.
Get on my shoulder.
There it is. I'll not get a picture of this. It's a little bit smaller than the last one. I can feel less weight in it. It's still a stunning looking fish. Covered in slime. Quickly get him back. I got him back. The method I'm fishing today is actually pretty radical. I'll show you the bait and then I'll show you the rig. Of course we're not down here for very long. It's a very early morning session just for a couple of hours before I go to work. I've got here some green swim stim micro pellets, 1 mil. So as you can see there, very, very tiny. That's the main loose feed. Then what I'm also feeding, which is also the only bait I'm using on the hook, is these red krill 8mm pellets. As you can see there, they're that big. So perfect for bream from £1 up. So I'm fishing them on a hair rig. looking around, make sure no one hears me say that, because that's pretty crazy. I'm sure there's not many people who are crazy enough. I just chuck them in actually. Crazy enough to fish a herring 8mm pellet on a canal, unless they're targeting carp. But I think it's starting to hit me now that this might be a little bit too crazy, and I might not catch anything. I mean, I did get a bite on this the other day, but the fish actually came to the corn and bread actually. I've not brought corn and bread because I wanted to stick this out and just see if it works. I've had fish feeding close to the swim. I've had a few bubbles and that fizzing up nearby. Some as soon as I started feeding, but I think because I've chucked my rig out, obviously it's disturbed them a little bit. But got to keep my hopes up. I'm going to stick to it. I've got really nothing else to do. I've not really got any other bait to use. I keep imagining the float going under. I want to take it out and show you the rig, but I'm fearful that it might go down. What I've done is though, I've got a small bulk about halfway down the rig, and then a couple of droppers, just so that I'm not speaking properly this morning. Just that the pellet drifts down nicely. After the rig's settled, it will drift for the last, foot of water instead of hammering onto the bottom. The thing is with Bream, they swim in and they swim out, they swim in, they swim out as they're eating. And I'm hoping that feathering motion might just pick one up. I'll show you the rig in a minute. My crazy tactic has worked. Yes! I've got a camera down. We've got a camera down, but we've got a fish, and that's all that matters. Right, I'll get him on the bank onto the net, and we'll take a look at him. I'll not weigh him. It looks like he's probably a fish of about £3, but that's a fantastic dark bream, and I'm so lucky to have caught him. I didn't think I was going to catch one. Bloody hell, it's going to tangle. There we are, and that's the little hair rig I managed to catch him on. Just get that out of the way. I said this is for £3. It's probably about £2.5 to £3. It's not massive, but it's a good start. Really dark fish, covered in slime. Let's get him back, see if we can catch another one. It's amazing the wildlife you see when you come out at this time in the morning. Now I really am pleased with that result. You can't see my float very well there. Especially on a canal in extremely clear water. I've managed to fish a hair-rigged 8mm pellet, and I've managed to catch a bream. I actually had to wait quite a while for that. I was getting worried. I thought that I'd maybe taken too much on in trying to use carp tactics to catch bream. But as I say, it worked for me the other day. But I didn't actually catch anything on the hairy bait I had last time. Well, it was a band I used last time. I had a take on it, but I didn't get the fish. So I knew it was going to be a gamble today, primarily only using the 8mm pellets as hook bait. But I've had a bream. I'm not going to complain. I'm sure in some canals you can go out all day and you'd be quite happy when that fish comes along. So as I say, I'm targeting the larger fish. I'm not expecting any roach or anything today, or any small, tiny bream. Oh, a little fish jumping at the back. It would be nice to make it a double. I would like another fish. So I'm going to stick it out. I thought my float had gone and I was looking at something random. I'm just waiting for the moment when that float dips on down. Before I had the take I knew there was a fish down in the swim. It's quite a large amount of bubbles fizzed up about 2 foot to the right of my float, and I knew that it wasn't going to be too long before I at least had a knock, and it wasn't even just a knock, it just flew under. So I can't see any movement out there now, but that's not to say there's no fish down there. It just means that they might just not be grubbing. But if I don't get a bite within 15 to 20 minutes, I think I'm going to have to move, because the water's so clear. With me catching that bream, which wasn't a tiny fish, I think it might potentially spook the fish off. As I say, there's a fisherman further up, so if they wanted to go and find somewhere else to feed, then they've got another swim ready for them, full of food, just up further up from me. So I've got another swim I would like to try. As I say, if I get a fish, I'll probably stay here. If not, in the next few minutes I'll move. Actually, I'll move the camera to the left, and you'll see these bubbles fizzing up, look. I mean, that's probably 7 or 8 metres to the left of where I'm fishing. So, you know, maybe I'm just in the wrong spot. I'll come back to you when I've got a fish, or if I'm moving. Now, I said I was after big bream. I tell you what, they don't get much bigger than this in the canal. Oh no, that is fantastic. Oh, I'm pleased with that. I think that's a fish over £4. I don't want to test my judgment, but yeah, I'm just going to get it on the bank and we're going to weigh it. I've got the sling and the scales with me, right? Honestly, I've never had a bream this big on the canal. Once again, there's the hair rig. Bit of weed on it. Let's chuck this to one side. I'll quickly show you him. I'll get him weighed and I'll show you him again. So I'll just turn that so I can see myself. And there we have it. Wait, could you have got the mat down? Probably the biggest canal bream that I've ever caught. A fish of, oh hey, careful. Fish of probably £4.5. Let's get him up again. That's a big fish. I'm going to stick him straight onto the scales now, and we'll get a proper weighment. God, I'm not even speaking right. Shame I can't get a picture with it, but I've got it on video. Fantastic. Can't believe it. Fish at bream at £6 on the canal. Now, I know that bream aren't really a choice of fish for people. They don't really want to catch them. They're gammy, slimy, and not much of a fight, but I love them. And I've gone and caught my personal best one today on the canal. And there it is. A bream that weighs £6. I tell you what, he's got plenty of fight in him for a bream. Right, let's lift him back up. Oh, £6 canal bream. I can't believe it. I wish I could take a picture, but I've got it on video and I'm quite happy with that. Let's get him back. Tell you what, people say they like dinner plates. This one's like a very big dinner plate. Slipping back. Well, this is a bit of a turn of events. After I had that big bream, my personal best bream, making that clear again, it's, well, let's just say this, as the lights got up, I've had a look over the water, and it would appear it is very, very, very clear. I hadn't realised when I first got down here because it was still fairly dark, and the shadows that were cast over the water just really disguised it. And there was plenty of bubbles fizzing up, so I know there were fish feeding, there was bubbles, you know, quite frequently. The whole stretch I've been coming up, there've been patches of bubbles, so I've been knowing the fish feeding. The wind's gonna get you. After I had that fish, I've had probably, the sun's come up a little bit. We've had 3 or 4 people walk down, a couple on the far bank and a couple on my near bank. And as soon as the people have walked down, I'm guessing it's because it's so clear, but all the patches of bubbles have stopped. There is not one. I mean, I'm looking around now trying to find that. Because I was thinking, you know, maybe if I find a patch of bubbles, I can put a little bit of feed on it and just put my rig over that and see if I can get make it a lucky hat trick before I have to go home, which is fairly soon. But yep, as soon as the people have walked down, all the bubbles have stopped. I think it's because the water's so clear. Now also the wind's now picking up, so if I wanted to see the fish and spot them and stalk them, I can't do that now. I think I'm just going to have to stick it out in the swim. You know, it paid off last time when I said, shall I wait here a bit longer or move on? And I said I was going to wait 15 minutes, and it was within 5 minutes I had that big bream. But I've had 2 big fish out, so that will have to stay to swim with the clearness of the water, and then I've had people come down, and the wind's picked up, so I just don't know what to do. I do know a swim where there might be a carp or 2. You used to get the odd one there, and you don't really get them there anymore. But seeing as the water's so clear, I am tempted to go and have a little peek. You know what? What time is it? Let me have a look. I'll be setting off home at about 7:15, something like that. It's 6:30. I've got 45 minutes. If this was live, I'd just be like, do you want me to stay or do you want me to go? But it's not live, so I'm going to give it 5 minutes. I'm going to start packing my stuff up, turn my bag into a bit of a roving bag, just make sure everything's to hand when I move. And I think we're going to have a little look for some carp, or potentially more bream. Sometimes you get them shoaled up on the surface quite often. If you get a little bit of bait over them, you can sometimes get the reds down. Anyway, let's get cracking. I'll quickly show you the rig. Right, we have a lovely classic crystal waggler. Can't complain at that. I don't actually do a lot of, well, I haven't been doing a lot of fishing with the rod lately, with the waggler, and that's because, as you saw in one of my videos, I actually cracked my pole section. I could get it repaired, or in fact get a new top kit, but I decided this year I really want to spend the summertime fishing the rod and really getting the methods down, and you probably can't hear me again because of the wind. So that's why I'm coming out and doing waggler sessions. I really want to get back into it. It's so much more fun than fishing the pole. So there we are, crystal wag, locked with 3 BBs. In fact, sorry, 2 BBs and a number 1 shot. Then I've got a bulk of a couple of number 4s coming down there. And then I've got one number 6 dropper. Then I've got another number 6 dropper just before the hook length. And the hook length I made up just before I came out. The main line I'm using is £6 down to a hook length which is about 1.5 foot long, to a banded hair rig. That's basically, as the name suggests, a hair rig with one of those little rubber bands on, little dentist bands, and I'm actually using an 8mm pellet on that, and that's what I've caught my bream on today. But, yeah, so that's my rig. I hope you guys can hear me, because the conditions really have got worse. It's a really harsh wind. It's really quite chilly. The sun's come up now onto the water. I've checked out a couple more swims just to see whether there's any fish really. I checked the swim where I thought there could potentially be a carp, and there wasn't one there. There hasn't been any there for a while now, I think for over a year. They got hammered quite a lot, I think it just moved on. But I've come down to the swim. When I said I had a second swim I was going to check out, which is actually the area where similar area to where I had, I bet that wind's you can't hear me, similar area to where I had those two from the last session. I've not even had a knock yet. The wind really is blowing a gale. As I say, it's gin clear. You can see from near side to far side of pretty much the whole stretch. I just think I've blown my chances of, I say I've blown my chances. I just think I don't think I'm going to get a chance of catching another fish. I've only got about 10 minutes of fishing left. But you know what? I'm really not bothered. Because I went and had that big bream earlier on and I've had one about £3. And I am more than happy. It would have been nice to make it a hat trick, but I'm quite happy leaving it where it is. I've got work to go to. That's very, very fun. If any of you guys have any more suggestions about any videos you want us to do, by the way, just let me know. Because it would be nice to get some ideas in the bag. It seems to be just doing random things at the moment. Whenever we get time or get a quick idea, we just go out and do it. But, I know we've been doing a lot of river fishing and canal fishing. If there's any particular target you'd like us to go for, species, let us know. Probably not trout, probably not salmon, because we haven't really got any places around here with many of those in. And to be honest, I'm not very keyed up with fly fishing. In fact, I've never done it. But any of the other core species, if you'd like us to go for it, then we'll give it a bash. I am tempted to go and do a really good barbel session, target the big ones. If you'd like to see that, then I'm more than happy. I've already got ideas of what I'm going to do for that. Or maybe me and Dom having a match. That'd be fun. Dom's already suggested the idea. If you'd like to see that, yeah, I'm sure that'd be pretty cool. I don't think it's gonna go. Right, anyway, I'll say my goodbyes now. And if I catch one, then I'll come back to you. But thank you for watching, and join us next time. God, I cannot speak. Join us next time.